face reality, people. Movies are dead. Games are dead. Narrative? Dead.
Media is nothing but neural trigger response and viral conditioning.
Wait, what are you two talking about?
Really? Really? Go ahead, spill your thoughts. Let's hear it.
Are you?
It's the simple idea of God and what you said yesterday, and I had that in my head, the whole Gaia thing.
Mhm.
And
Was that
he
was that baby
creates everything,
Jesus?
but she's central to it, I guess, because she's the stone of the restart somehow.
Different iteration.
But like, so he's the poet, so he's like writing in humanity and letting it be chaos.
He
That's
gives them free will, right, to do whatever they want, and they're supposed to inspire him to write. That's what they were saying in the beginning of the movie, right? When Ed Harris and Michelle Pfeiffer show up, like, oh no, like I thought these guys would help me with my writing by them just being around and just watching them, right? Essentially, like, I created life, and now I'm just watching it play out, and it's inspiring my other writings.
Yeah, and they had the Adam and Eve kind of thing, and then Cain and Abel kind of thing.
Yeah. And the other guy, right? That Jesus guy was kind of in there, right?
Where? Was that the baby?
Bro, they killed him, then they ate his body and blood.
What I was talking
in
about.
the body of Christ.
Yeah. But I thought you were talking about in the first opening group.
No.
But no. Yeah, I got that was supposed to be Jesus.
And you killed him. Code Davos from Game of Thrones.
And then she got to kill like 5 or 6 of them before the people turned on her.
Yeah.
It took me a while. So yesterday you kind of tipped the hat a little bit.
I did.
With Javier. So that kind of already set part of it up. So it made sense along the way. But I kept thinking about her. And then I was thinking about, okay, the title Mother. Until like a while into it, I figured out she's like Mother Earth in the house. Like that's why people keep redecorating it, just start building, evolving like humanity. And kind of
let me be fair. It doesn't have to mean Mother Earth. Like that's that's part of my interpretation, but it could be something else, right? Like so I don't know exactly. So
well, that was the conclusion I had. I put it into the Mona movies.
Yeah, it's been similar to you, Jesse.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot more religious shit talking about like the whole let's talk about the Old Testament, and they keep including this new aspect of there's a male and female God. And that's, I guess, become more and more popular lately.
If he's
they didn't worship her too much.
If we're in the image of God, then it would be both male and female if it's about humans strictly. I personally don't believe in that, but you think it's just like a dude? He has a dick and everything? Yeah, let's go. If we're gonna go there, let's go there. Does he have a dick or something?
Obviously God's a man because he gets shit done. He creates.
Gets shit done.
Yeah, thank you.
He creates babies by himself?
No, he created woman.
He created woman to have babies? But he's God. He doesn't need a woman to make a baby, right? Unless he himself is both male and female.
No, remember
to make women.
No, his first intent was, I'm just gonna make a man, and here's a rib that can turn into a woman to help you do shit.
That's Adam and Eve,
And
right?
then the punishment.
Adam's not
the-
man. If you're gonna go that
The
direction. right?
punishment was birth, and men do daily
Yeah.
labor.
No,
It wasn't-
if you're gonna go with God's a man, then Adam's not a man, then because he's lesser. He's not the actual definition of man. God would be if he's a man. So then Adam's something else. He's not a man,
created in your
right?
creating God's image.
In his image, but that doesn't make them that there, right? So he's not a man. What's Adam then?
No, Adam's a man. God's more of a man.
No, but if there's such thing as more of a man, then there would be a distinct definition of man, which would be God then, right? God would be the actual
it's a
definition of
def-
man,
it's
and Adam's less than
Man
that,
is
which means he's
man
not a
and
man.
God is God.
Who switched your crack, bro?
What Dubster's
Listen-
trying
listen
to
to your
say
logic.
is
Going
that
with the
God
movie.
is made in the image of man, or man is in the image of God, but God is God and man is man. You can't say that God is a man.
So God is Adam. God gave his image to Adam, who created a woman, which means God is a woman too,
Yeah,
logically speaking.
God's a
No.
goddamn transgender.
No.
Well,
He's
what,
one of
No.
those non-binary people.
I have to
well,
troll
what,
him.
what was in the movie?
No. Said God created man in his image. He didn't say God created man and woman in his image. He said God created man in his
Well,
image.
who created woman then?
God. He didn't create
how
her in
did
his
he-
image.
What does he say? What does he say about creating women?
He
Here's a
made her
rib.
of him. Like he made her of Adam.
Out of a rib.
Out
Out
of a
of
rib,
Adam.
but it's still Adam.
Adam, who is not
So he-
exactly a man. He's
That
less
shit
than
sounds
a man.
like incest.
It is.
So Adam, who's less than a man, made a woman.
No,
So
God did it
does that mean Adam decided to go fuck
using
himself?
a piece.
Exactly.
Yes.
God used
Well,
a piece
only-
of himself.
Only after they got kicked out. Of,
So it's
Means
masturbation.
chicks are spare parts.
yeah. When they got kicked out of that room for fucking with the break, they just kept fucking with the thing they told them not to fuck with. They got kicked out, and immediately they started having sex.
So they almost
Yeah,
didn't
and
need to
multiplying.
procreate.
And multiplying, where all these people.
That was their
kept living.
punishment.
Their punishment was procreation.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
The pain that comes with it.
soil. That was the man's punishment. Was he will do hard labor with the soil for food.
I think
If this
This
was in
was-
mathematics, I
originally-
think it's 1 + 1 = 5. That's what it sounds
Originally,
like.
it was just
Your
supposed to be
explanation of
Adam
things.
and Eve, and they're immortal, but she
Not my
ended up messing up.
explanation of things.
And God is like, you shouldn't have ate that apple, and he's like, now I'm going to give you a soul, and you're going to die, but you can make babies.
I gave him. Did they earn free will, or
I
was
don't know
it
when he.
they
I don't
fucked
know.
up and got free will?
I don't know when he gave him the soul. I couldn't tell you that part. I don't know when he gave him the soul.
Did they earn free will, or did they fuck up and get free will? Which one is it?
They had it, otherwise they wouldn't have been able to eat.
Oh, true. Okay. So then, is that a flaw in God's thing? Why am I trying to debunk religion right now? Jesus Christ.
I
don't
think it's
know.
a metaphor for.
All right, what else
capitalism.
did you see, Dubster?
Yeah, what did you see in the movie? Please go ahead.
Chaos. A lot of chaos was part of that aspect of walking through after the party went fucking crazy.
A lot of like modern
it's
motifs, right? Like modern style
guess
with cops
there's-
and robbers
it's
and terrorism.
It's
and all
implying there's a point. It's a point where they all looked at God and celebrated his writing. But then when they celebrated, it turned into deconstruction of some sort.
What in what way?
And-
What do you mean by that? Like deconstruction of his work or deconstruction of kind of each other?
The house. And and I'm just trying to figure, like, they were celebrating him and she provided food. Yeah, they took the food, but it was still like pleasant-ish. And then at a certain point, it just became, we're tearing this whole fucking house apart.
Yeah. Like
And I
they,
guess
It's a religious metaphor, though. I do not understand if the guy kills the woman and then
if you
takes
look
her
at
fucking
her
crystal.
as,
we'll get there, prop. Don't worry, we'll get there.
if you jump back into the idea she's like Gaia or Mother Earth or whatever, she provided food, and then she cut the food off, so they tore the fucking Earth apart.
Okay.
I'm just guessing. Like, it was so trying to be
Abstract.
deep.
Okay.
Parts of it, I think, just lost itself.
There's some plumbing issues.
Yeah. Heard Noah had one of those.
The flood. Yeah.
There's a plumbing issue on Earth, and
I think it at some point lost its ability to be relevant in the movie.
wait,
Flood
what
happened
lost
because
its point to be relevant?
Flood happened because God took a shit and it wouldn't go down.
That also happened in this movie. Well, not a shit, but something clogged the toilets.
The baby they used in that movie, it's gonna grow up and sue the producers for trauma.
Yeah.
For being tossed around in a fucking mosh pit.
For its
then
CGI
someone
image
break
being
his neck.
used. That was CGI, by the way, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
The baby's gonna grow up to be Stewie Griffin.
So the people
Berwick.
plundered the
Wow.
earth.
We'll see you guys later.
All right, dude.
Goodbye, my farewell friend.
Goodbye, Peter Jordanson.
Bloody well missed you.
People
The
built
only time you're in Canada
their own
again.
things in the
Stop
house,
by.
and they really they plundered things. They were ripping things off the wall. And I thought the best line for me was when she said, "Why are you doing this?" And it said, "Just to what was it, like, to show that we were here, that I was here." And,
It was a Native American looking dude, right? With the
Okay.
the pigtail look, the braided pigtail looking thing, and he was ripping off like
I-
the molding off the doorway wall, the
Prove
doorway.
I was here, right?
Yeah,
prove I was
something like that. Something like
Prove I
that.
was here. Yeah, I really like that line. I didn't notice it, like what character did that, but I um I think there's like when people think about like what are they going to do? Like they're going to be gone, at some time, and a lot of people try to leave their mark, right, in some kind of way.
Mhm.
And I felt like that line was pretty profound. Like,
Oh, yeah.
in describing what people do.
I'm gonna do that.
There's a lot of interesting lines. Some that just seemed like that line on its own almost. I'm not gonna say it feels out of place because the movie's so abstract, but in a way it feels out of place to where it's like it's out of place in a way to get you to notice it. I think, like when what was she said to Javier Bardem? She's like, "Oh, I'm preparing for the apocalypse" or something. Where it's like just kind of like
Mhm.
out of like that's kind of out of place for what they're doing there, what's happening there. But like,
And then that exact thing happened right after.
but I think it's like to make you notice the line more by putting it kind of out of place, which works in
Yes.
like the movie's so abstract that even those lines stand out as like out of place in a way to get you to put focus on them. I think.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. It's very intentionally like odd, unless if it was a normal thing, it would be weird.
Yeah. Very interesting. And anything else, Dubster, you want to go with? Because I thought this would pique your imagination as much as anyone else's, or more so.
No, it was so. It wasn't even interesting to me.
Really? Okay.
That's the. Yeah.
That's fair. No, it's fair enough. Fair enough.
For some reason, it bored the fuck out of me.
I can't agree with that, me personally, because
was more, you know.
when I watch Aronofsky, I'm already like kind of locked in. So maybe that's my bias, kind of, because I'm used to watching
Probably.
some of his properties, some of his work, to where I'm just like, I know you're gonna throw some like fucking shit out there. You're gonna try to hit me over the head with something. Pause. Right. So I'm already like looking for things like that.
I'll tell you, there is something else I liked about it, I guess. The aspect of God doesn't even know what he's doing. He's just doing it because he's trying to figure out what to do.
He's trying to create, right?
How
And
the hell do you know
Right,
what
he
has
didn't-
anything to do with God? I'm so lost.
we'll get to that, prop.
The
Don't worry.
husband,
Like the
husband-
only thing I could think of is the whole like eating the body of the baby or whatever.
the
there's a lot of
husband
shit
is
in there.
God.
But then I
The
could just say
husband's
that
supposed
I
to
could
be
be
God.
like, that's like a fucking. It could be about like a society, and then like this is some like crazy elites eating some babies or some shit, or
No, I don't think
That's
they
the
were going
lens.
there.
That's the lens, and that's your default lens. That's why.
They use
No,
some
I'm not
modern
saying it
social
is, I'm
shit
saying
there.
I could just like go. I could
Oh yeah,
say
you
it
could.
like
You could make the argument. Yeah, you can make the argument. It's
Okay, then what's the power of the crystal restarting everything with that point of view?
yeah,
Prop.
and that's what I don't get. How does that makes me not think that it? How is it religious if that shit is in there?
That's very religious.
No, I'm saying how does I'm saying
He
from your
the
point of
wife
view that
died
you
in
just
a fire, and then he
Prop,
pulled like a
what I'm-
crystal out of her heart. I don't get like how that is religious.
Because if
No, okay, that's not what I'm asking, Prop. What I'm asking from the point of view you just described for yourself, how does the crystal being pulled out of her heart and restarting the world apply?
but you're going with the world. He's not thinking that yet.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
then what's he
like
thinking?
if you guys wouldn't have said anything about Jesus or God or anything, I wouldn't have seen that baby as Jesus or it being religious at all.
I
was
thought
thinking more
symbolically it was
just
kind
a
of
movie like Inception. It was more of a movie just like a secular movie that was just kind of trippy.
no, not this guy, not this guy.
No, it's up for interpretation. Prop, you're allowed your interpretation. I'm just trying to
Fair enough.
see how you're connecting the dots with your interpretation.
This is why I was like, I get why some people might
I'm not
score it low.
connecting the dots with my interpretation. That's one of the problems I'm having with this movie is my dots don't connect with the interpretation I have.
It's not following the lore to the T. Is that the problem?
It's
Well, it's not even to the T. It's way the fuck off.
bro.
Yeah.
It's pro and anti-religion, or mainly like Christian religion at the same time. It's pro and anti it at the same time. I think that's where the movie I think gets weird for people. That's the way it like seemed to me at least. Like it's like
Yeah, they
saying God's
worship
kind of
God
a
to a
buffoon. Like, look how they make God, right? If Javier Bardem is playing God in the movie, right? He's kind of like, but they love me. They all love me. So a little bit of I'll let my son get carried by these fools that we know are idiots. He knows he's doing that. He's like just for the adulation, and he gets his fucking kid killed, and he knows shit's gonna go down because he already experienced it, right? This is a reboot. Jennifer Lawrence is a reboot of what he already did, right? And he ends up rebooting it again.
Yeah, and you don't know how many times.
Exactly.
It's every time.
Probably every time. Yeah, there's a good chance it's every time. So they're like calling like the religious sense of God is like kind of a buffoon, right? Or like a wayward child almost. He's just doing it for like likes and thumbs up and paparazzi and New York Times selling, right? #1 New York Times selling book or whatever the fuck, right? Like it's almost like a child doing that. Like it's very weird. Then he has
Self-pleasing.
yes, like yes, build a statue of me. Yes, do that. Yes, it's beautiful. They love me so much. It's not the real kind of love. The way she loves him, right? She said it in the movie. She's like, I think
You
she
just
said,
love that I love you.
yeah, you love the way I love you so much, type of thing.
It's not that you love me. It's that you love that I love you.
Because you can always reboot it whenever you want to. When I'm the one who's actually like in it, and I'm trying to make things work perfectly fine. Like trying to make things work the way they, I guess, or harmonically should
But
work.
yet, it also showed the fact that he kept saving her.
Yes.
He was in the chaos, consistently like disappearing, but somehow he could always make it back and save her just in the nick of time.
Yeah.
Well, she's
Until he
she's a
couldn't.
part. She is.
He
the
couldn't save
healing.
her from herself. He
Yes.
couldn't save her from
So if the house is Earth, or some kind of like place where people are, and if she is like a Mother Nature type of thing, like things were like in the beginning you see it more like when, because later on she's just panicking, but in the beginning things would break, or she would take care of things. She was picking up and cleaning, and like nature is very self-healing, like
Yeah.
Sure.
like that's the way it's designed. Like in the very beginning, I kind
It
of
would
joked the change.
put
The
dead
change.
things to use, yeah.
Well,
It would clean itself.
yeah, but like you see how it. I said that it looked like they were power washing in the beginning because it was kind of old, and then it just kind of like came
Yeah.
out to like brand new, and it she was obviously like fixing up everything like little by little, painting and just growing. Like it's just life evolving, and so she is the healing nature of everything there.
But then we got to a point where she couldn't heal anymore.
Right.
Like there was so much fucking bullshit going on. She just couldn't. She couldn't do anything. She was just in the thick of it, just like the rest of them.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Just
So-
trying
and
to
she read
survive
the page
herself.
to everybody
from a different
at the
perspective,
end.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's time to end it, I guess, at that point. All right. Don't you know it's the end of the world?
If I were expecting to watch a weird movie, I'd give it a 4 out of 10. But since they got Bardem and Jennifer Lawrence to play in it, and it's a shit movie, I'm gonna give it a 1 out of
One
because
for.
that's not good. Yeah, that's not good for their careers.
Can you Can you
Your one
explain?
is not good.
Can you explain your score? I bet he can't. Let's see him explain it. It was stupid. It was boring. It was stupid.
If I was expecting a weird movie with better lighting, they didn't need like A-list actors, and it still would have served the same purpose. But since they ruined or partially ruined Bardem's and Lawrence's career making a shit movie,
With that,
They didn't
They
ruin
coulda-
their
they coulda-
careers. What are you
they
talking
could have
about?
used
Yeah,
they
that's
could
right.
have used smaller actors for the same movie, and it would have
No.
probably been more impactful.
No, dude. Well, okay. I'm just. That's all it's telling me is no one understands. Like no one watches the craft of acting at all. Really. It's
Feel
like,
with I just
You-
can't stand watching the same actor or
Well,
actress in
Harrison
any
has his own
movie, so
craft
I'm like,
you don't want to see the same
He knows the
actor
pattern.
or actress in any movie. It
yeah,
doesn't
I
make
wanna see them
sense,
in maybe,
dude.
like,
They're not in
5
every movie, right? There's so many movies out there. You don't really see them that often. What was the last Javier Bardem film you've seen?
fucking Everybody Loves Raymond.
That fucking droopy-eyed motherfucker.
I have no clue.
What was the last Jennifer Lawrence movie you've seen?
Fucking Days of Our Lives.
X-Men.
X-Men. When did that come out? When did X-Men First Class come out?
2012.
Exactly. You don't see these fools that often.
Okay,
You don't
then
see them.
Hunger Games.
You
Then
don't-
Hunger Games.
You don't see those fools that often. Hunger Games is even older than that, so stop it.
No, the last one was more recent.
But then the X-Men
The
movie was more
sequel?
recent than that. The not First Class, but the ones after. Like there's like one
Oh,
or
okay.
two more after that.
Okay.
Either way, it's like you don't see Ed Harris that often. You don't see Michelle Pfeiffer. Like I don't understand that statement, but whatever. You're not a big movie fan.
No,
so
you definitely. I haven't seen Michelle Pfeiffer in anything in a minute.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen her recently in something. But whatever.
So if you're very
Like,
strict
that's
to the
why I
lore,
like anime, because I
would
don't
be
have to like
blasphemous.
the actors and actresses, which
Yeah.
I hate in real life.
It would be Jesse.
I just
Yeah.
instinctively hate anybody that's a rich actor or actress because I'm like, what
Here-
the fuck,
But
bro?
but
I'll work
in
my
this
ass off.
But how does
I-
someone get popular at whatever? Go ahead, Jesse.
Sorry.
but I think the way I took this, it actually was very complimenting to
Yeah.
the whole thing. I thought it was um I mean, on the surface it was extremely chaotic. You know, like it felt somewhat random if if you didn't already have like all the connections made. But knowing that, like I thought that I don't even think his desire uh, for praise when it was given is is off from like you're literally supposed to worship. You know, like it's a part of it. So I don't think it was, you know, wrong in not even in spirit. Um, you know, like it just the story it told. Um, like he knew it. Like
Yeah.
you know, like I think it was very respectful in certain things about like I like how he's a writer for one thing. Like you
Mm-hmm.
know, the fact that the Bible is about like at least it opens with him speaking or with the word bringing it into existence the whole everything.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to the Matrix.
there's a lot there that really makes sense. Now, if you just read like well, I think
Mhm.
they added meaning. So for instance, if you were to follow the movie, it like you actually get a reason why this forbidden thing was forbidden. You know, like you see how precious it was because it
Yes.
was his previous life or you know like whatever.
It's called iteration.
But
Iteration of
yeah,
Earth or whatever.
you see purpose to that, like why he protected it and didn't want them to touch it. Um,
Yep.
so they added purpose. That's not like it wasn't there. They gave it, but I thought that was good, and I actually like um from my own perspective, like it's a personal thing. I like the cycle of it, and because
Mm.
it doesn't make sense for me to have like that it just starts from nothing. It really doesn't. So you know that it starts from itself is, I think, from my perspective, it's very beautiful, and so and they connected it that way. So I thought it actually gave it a very good perspective for me.
Okay. Well, let me say this. Let me say why I say I think it's loving and hating the Christian biblical version of God and the world and all that shit. Because I think what they told through Javier Bardem is someone like doing the literal reading of whatever Jehovah, wherever God's name would be or whatever, like God in the Bible, right? And she is the metaphorical read. That's what I think the balance is
Yahweh,
actually.
what they call him.
Yahweh, whatever, right? Like look at the things he does are almost like if you read the Bible literally, you would think this guy is looking for adulation. He's looking for temples built in his name, or whatever the fuck. Uh, fuck. I hadn't right in the back of my head, bro. Fuck. Whatever.
Praise of some sort.
Praise
of some
is
sort.
something else I was thinking of that I'm just fucking up. Damn it, I lost it. Whatever. But like imagine
Notoriety.
Yeah, there's that, but there's something else I was thinking of. But it's like imagine like take the literal version of the way someone might not exactly the words that are in the Bible, but more of like if you read God as a character in something, this is what he would look like if you literally took it that way. Like that's what God is. He needs the the adulation. He needs characters in order to write things. He needs to scorch earth. He needs to do he needs like all these different things, right? When he's like enough, right? His word is final, right? He needs that thing as well. That's kind of like a literal reading of, I guess a biblical God. And then she is more of like a under the surface woo woo version of the thing, where it gives it like kind of adulation. Even the resetting of it, Jesse, to me is like it's based on the Mommy Earth thing, or the Jennifer Lawrence character, or her prior versions, or her future versions, where even that's like this precious thing that he needs to protect almost. And the on the surface thing leads to what? Riots and fucking crazy shit and all this shit socially, right? Like it's on the surface stuff, and he's like at the center of that, right? Because they're all in love with the poet, right? Versus the deeper story, which is what they're giving adulation to, I think. Which is the writer's giving her adulation versus, I guess this God figure. Like a biblical style God figure who needs temples built for him and all that shit. Right? That's what it smells like. Like almost like a masculine feminine type of symbolism. Where he's like the literal word of things and she's the subtext of it, the meaning of it. And they kind of balance, like they imagine them like in dichotomy with each other, thus the chaos, right? Where like, oh, it was the poet touched me and he does this thing with his thumb. I'm gonna do that too. And then you see the guy who becomes like a fucking, I guess, who the guy like Peter or some shit. Like you remind me of that for some reason. They'd be like, I'm like the Pope. I put fucking ash on your fucking forehead and shit. All right, we literally eat the body of Christ. Like it's a literal reading of it instead of, more of a subtextual thing, which is what I think the mother kind of represented, I think, in my opinion. That's why there's such a weird dynamic, I think. That's just my opinion from watching it. I can't say I know that. I don't know if they were going there or not. Personally. Anyways, recommendations, grades, please, go ahead. Hello? Yeah, I'll go first.
I just think it was a bad decision for Jennifer Lawrence to take that role in a kind of a creepy movie because she's already been panned repeatedly for Harvey Weinstein crawling up her coot nanny.
Oh. Anyways, wait, Harrison, do you have a real, I guess, description of the movie and why, and a grade behind it? Like, give me some technical things about it. That you're like, yeah, this is why it's bad, or this is why it's good.
The lighting could have been better.
Well, I think the lighting was fine. I think it was that's my fault. The copy I gave to you was not as good.
His name is the real Harris.
But no, this is not a movie that you're going to take anybody to see at a movie theater on a date or with your family or anybody. This is a movie you're going to see by yourself in the goddamn movie theater. So it's shit.
Yeah. Oh, stop it, fucking butthead. I understand that logic, but that's what modern movies are, and you guys wonder why you get no excellence ever out there. Someone has to go to these lengths and do weird ass shit so that one day that filters into the mainstream and you get something like The Dark Knight or The Matrix or whatever all-time great box office movie there is. Not all of them, but for me, the best quality ones that attracts not just the nerd fanboys, but also the critics. Yeah, you're going to need elements where artists go to these lengths for their work. But that's neither here nor there. Anyone else? Recommendations, grades? Please go ahead.
Yeah, I recommend it. I'd say it's a solid 8.2.
8.2. Jesus Christ. The high score, man.
8.2. It's bro, it's like, it's fucked up to say. It's the most coherent thing I've seen all year, bro. It might be recency, but
Is that because you got where they were going with the
Yeah,
religious
I got the
stuff
theme.
and
I got the theme. I got it all. Now, what I will say, the negative is what he was going for was well fleshed out and all that. But as far as his movies are concerned that I've seen, the only one I haven't seen Noah. I haven't seen a couple other ones. I didn't see the Hugh Jackman one you played yesterday either. I was doing something.
fair enough.
But I
He
would
did
say,
the Russell Crowe Noah.
He did.
yeah, he did that.
Oh, that was a bad movie, bro.
I
Anyways,
think I agree with that, but go ahead, Anthony.
no. So barring me
You said
watching
you
that
didn't
Noah,
see it.
yeah, barring me watching that Noah movie, this is definitely the least complex story I would say he's shown from the movies I've seen,
Okay.
and I won't say it's basic because it's not basic. It's very intricate, but as far as like what like yeah the like on the complexity level, like yeah, I was expecting to go a couple layers over, but I understood why it was like he didn't have to do that. The movie wasn't asking for that necessarily.
Okay. Fair enough. It did seem more like I'm yelling at the audience rather than I'm trying to like
Yeah,
slowly paint
exactly.
a picture to get you to
Nah, like yeah,
get enthralled by it type of thing. I think it's more of a screaming at the audience type of
actually,
thing.
yeah, I changed my score, bro. It's like a 7.8. I had to take
Fair
the
enough.
recency. Take the recency bias.
What have you done
Yeah.
for me lately?
It
But
becomes screaming. It starts out.
yes, it starts out like Jordan says, very abstract, very. It's like, oh, we go anywhere with this. Like the hole in the wall, in the floor. I'm like, yo, where's that taking us?
Well, it takes a while before like anything happens. I mean, you're observing a lot of like silent like
Well, okay, yeah,
things.
because there was like, no, like I understood the brother part, but I thought the bigger brother was gonna be like an adversary.
Hmm.
But he just disappeared. Not, I don't know what to make it. I'm just saying. I thought I'm like, oh, even though that whole storyline with the family, Michelle Pfeiffer, Ed Harris, they're all
Yeah,
gone. Once he writes the book, they're all gone.
Just yeah,
he
time
had
passes.
this. He had the son appear like he was gonna be part of something in the future,
Yeah,
and then he just
yeah.
disappeared again.
By the way,
And then
there's
so,
plenty of shit in there with that, but with
well,
word
let's get
symbolism
into
they're
that. Well,
using.
that's what I wanted to get into. It like, what did I like? What? Let's get into that. What did you think about the Ed Harris, Michelle Pfeiffer, and their two kids?
I mean, I said it yesterday. I like my interpretation of it, kind of like an Adam and Eve story. Like they're like the first two to arrive. Like he's first, right?
Oh,
Then
okay.
then she shows up, right? And then their sons show up after that. And
Yes.
they're almost like
Cain and Abel.
yeah, and they're almost like in a way wearing out their welcome, if that makes sense. It's like that's what the
Yes.
characters were doing. They were and they almost
Yes.
gave her no mind. That's what I mean by like if Javier represents like a literal reading of the Bible and Jennifer Lawrence
She's a
represents like
second
a kind of a
testament.
subtext or metaphorical reading of it, towards like they paid her no mind. They're almost like disrespectful to her sense of things. It was almost like
Except,
strictly adulation for
yeah,
Javier Bardem, right?
except Eve. Like Eve kept what? Like all those scenes where she's the only one looking at her.
Eve or
There was a
Michelle
point.
Pfeiffer
There
sniping
was a
at her
point.
the whole time.
Yeah,
She's sniping at
there's
her.
a point where Michelle Pfeiffer kisses on the husband.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's exactly like she's like making sure she's got room to make the move on God, basically.
Well,
I wouldn't say
they're
that.
all like
Everybody
those
loves
guys.
God.
They're overly like they're overly leaning towards him and almost like dismissive of her.
Yeah, and she even said it like it's all about you. It's all about you. And he goes, "Well, I need to bring life in here because you're so dead. And you're so uninspiring."
And yeah, kinda. I can see that. Anyone else? Recommendation scores? Anything?
I would say for recommendation, I didn't know. Well, other than the hint from yesterday, I didn't know what this was about.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have seen this much sooner. Like this would definitely would have wanted to watch this. So I definitely recommend it.
Okay. And Jesse doesn't do scores really. Not really.
Yeah.
Dubster. What do you think?
I do not recommend this, and I give it a 4.5.
4.5 out of 10. Damn, that's lower than IMDb.
Yep.
Goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason it's getting a 4.5 is because at least it had a plot. I didn't like the plot, but at least it had a plot. And some of these fucking directors don't even know how to fucking do a plot.
Fair enough. I thought you'd have been all into the whole idea of the apocalypse and Revelation and all that religious shit. I thought you'd have been all into that personally. That was my guess while you were full muted. But go ahead.
I got the general stuff of it. It was just so fucking boring. I
That was
don't know
boring?
why it was so boring.
I don't think that was
The whole
boring,
movie
man.
was fucking boring.
Damn, I don't think
I
that was
tried.
bad.
Oh, you've tried to get me to watch this movie like 2 other times, and I've seen parts of it and didn't know that it was what this was, and I just didn't feel like watching this.
Fair
It
enough.
felt like work to watch this.
You've had us watch
I say fair
like
enough.
how many different versions of Jesus? Like
It also really didn't have a score.
Actually,
It really had no music for the dramatic scenes at all,
Yeah,
which was kind of weird for a movie.
That's not weird. That's
this.
okay. That's okay to do, man. That's okay, Harrison. You don't have to have like dun 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 dun, dun like when some fucking scene's happening, or even a slow violin. You don't need that either. Like it could be actual. I think something that's more actually immersive is silence and hearing like natural sounds, natural
Harrison's
footsteps.
Harrison's one of those score supremacists. Where if it doesn't have, if it has a score he likes or doesn't have a score he likes, it drops the screen.
I own a lot of soundtracks.
I remember in the past 2
I like
days there was
soundtracks too.
one
I'm just saying.
movie that I said like I really noticed when the music stopped. Like
Oh,
like
yeah.
things actually stood out because they stopped the music.
I wish.
But that
Opposite
does
of
mean
that,
I need to update my Craven score to a 4. I had it somewhere higher than that, so it needs to go down. 'Cause this was better than Craven.
It rescaled your whole scale change now because of Mother and Craven. I love that.
Yeah.
Craven
needed to go down from what I had it at.
All right, let me ask this one thing, and then I'll give my grade and score and all that. I'm other than Dubster, whose score is already down in the 4s. Is 5.7 justified in any fucking reality here? 5.7? Is that justified for this movie? That doesn't make sense to me. 5.7? That's crazy, bro. Let me make sure that's the real score, because that was the score on the fucking site. Let me say.
I do think that if you don't really so
All right,
we
it's a
just
6.6.
stopped talking for a bit, right?
Yeah.
And he was, everything wasn't clear, and if it's not, I think the movie appears very chaotic if you don't have that in your mind.
Oh yeah, but if
Yeah,
I don't,
you don't go into it knowing what you're gonna see, and you miss subtleties.
Yeah.
You might come back and be like, "What the fuck am I watching? What is this?"
But that would be my point with Perfect Blue. If I jumped in the middle of the movie, without knowing anything that happened before it, I'd be fucking absolutely lost, right?
I still don't know what happened.
Right.
Well, yeah, but you have like a gist of where they're like somewhat of where they're going. I'm just saying, like, with any movie
I
that's
don't know that.
trying to be intricate or trying to say something a little bit more than just a plot, if you jump in the middle of it, yeah, you're going to be fucking lost. It is what it is. And if you're snoozing off in decent portions of it, yeah, you're going to get lost. By the way, the IMDb was 6.6. It wasn't 5. I thought it was 5.7. I thought the site was correct, but it's not. It's 6.6. 6.6 out of 10 and 68% on Rotten Tomatoes. But yeah, it is what it is. For me, I 100% recommend. Forget about being into religion or subtext or woo-woo or maybe debunking woo-woo, whatever. Forget about that. If you're into film and in fact you try to watch it from the lens of like a filmmaker, oh my god, yes, watch this. I mean, some of the technical shit that I'm watching here is fucking beautiful. I mean, fucking beautiful. Granted, the one I showed these guys, it was a little more grainy, and but I've seen this movie like this is my fourth time seeing this kind of. So the technical shit, I think, is bananas. I think Aronofsky has one of the best eyes in Hollywood. So if not for the story and subtext and all that, even though that I think that's enjoyable too, it makes you think. But I know there's a lot of people that are afraid of religion, so they get a little spooked out and they can't get into the story. They get a little spooked by it. Fair enough. But the technical shit, there's no way you can ignore that, if you ask me. So
You talking about like how they tore the house up? That was cool.
well, the
That was
cinematic,
not cool, but like interesting.
they literally shot it in like
How
a
they
whoa.
turned
They
yeah,
shot it in a
turned
whirlwind.
rooms into cages and shit.
Imagine yourself in a whirlwind, like metaphorically, what a whirlwind would be for you, right? Where you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
things over here, things over there, things over there, things over there, and then imagine shooting that with a camera, where it's like, holy shit, thing over here, then boom, thing over here, then boom, like boom, guys breaking through the fucking window in SWAT gear, boom, over here, someone's breaking the sink and water going everywhere, boom, over here, there's fucking babies being ripped apart, you know, sorry to creep it out, but whatever, right? There's just like, it's actually a whirlwind of chaos happening, and they actually film it that way. And I'm like, God damn, that's beautiful. Yeah. But that's just well done, man, in my opinion. So if not for anything else, technical shit, it would be a reason to watch this movie. I think it's beautifully made. My grade is 7.6 out of 10. 7.6. Slightly above average. Yes, there's subtext, and yes, there's a thread, and yes, there's a storyline. Yes, but I don't know. I would have wanted more from not just an interpretation of these kind of Abrahamic style religion. But
It's just propaganda for the squatters in California.
yes, there's the idea of homeless encampments there. Like there's a bunch of shit about modern society. That was all there. 100% was all there. I just think.
I don't think it's religious.
Okay.
Who's to say it's religious?
Oh, please tell us, please. The floor is yours.
I
Tell
don't
us
know.
about the movie, dude. Whatever.
I just don't think it's necessarily religious unless I could did the creator say it is?
You tell us, man.
I
How
thought
do
it was
you take
pretty
it?
obvious. when he
I just
when
don't
he
think
carries
about
her and she's like, "Who are you?" and he's like, "I am I." Like that's the God moment.
Yo.
Everyone's burnt to death, but he's like pristine. He looks fine. All right.
My. Yeah.
Like, who are you? I am I. It's like, all right, that means something else, right? I'm just saying. But yeah.
Well, they say that in fucking Full Metal Alchemist or whatever, and it's not like Christian theocracy or whatever.
When they
It's
say
not
that,
like The
what does it
Matrix.
mean for
Got
them?
it.
What does it
Yeah,
mean for
it's
them?
the Christians. I don't think that the Matrix is necessarily Christian theocracy too.
Theocracy?
Even
I
though
don't
you
know what
could
that means
with
in
the
regards to film. You mean theological? Like
Yeah, theocracy.
that's very heavy in The Matrix. Very heavy.
I
Very,
think you
very
could
heavy.
say it. You could maybe make reference or like make, what do you call it, draw conclusions with like the Trinity, like the word Trinity, and like the Holy Trinity or
The
whatever in
one and him walking
Catholicism.
on something, yeah,
There's a
But like
scene where
all
he
that shit to me
literally
is
is in a
like
cross.
people.
yeah, he's on a crucifix as he sacrifices himself to reboot the Matrix.
He literally has a scene like that.
I think that's just like people seeing imagery of like past events and then like making it that or
Didn't they
whatever.
help
Like
make that documentary that I
unless the
talked about before?
creator.
Didn't they help make that documentary that I talked about before? Or they're talking a lot about Christianity and Gnostic Christianity and even Orthodox Christianity, amongst other religions too. Right?
Yeah, on the Matrix or whatever.
Yeah, there's plenty of
Yeah,
religious
like
symbolism in that movie, in those movies.
if the creator's like saying that, then yeah. But if it's like just into someone's interpretation, then it's like I don't get why. Like, is like if this movie is that, then I'd accept it being
Hold on.
a,
Hold
a
on. Hold on.
This
Christian
movie's hitting you
You
over
metaphor.
the
you
head with
you
it.
didn't see the
Bruh.
Christian iconography throughout this entire movie?
Yeah, but I can make Christian iconography out of anything. Same thing with
Yeah,
like
but you
Islamic
didn't see
iconography.
that Jennifer
Or...
Lawrence was pregnant for about 10 to 15 minutes into her being pregnant, saying she was.
Did you
Like,
guys
they were
know that
showing
the
her
guys,
belly repeatedly.
the brothers that made the Matrix are trannies?
They are trans, yeah. And they're some of the they're some of the best creators I've ever of work I've seen. They're some of the best creators I've ever seen.
I don't know, man.
You never
Keep
seen
an eye
it?
on those guys.
Have you seen V for Vendetta, Harrison? Oh, you're not even having a serious conversation. Got it. Anyways, so my grade's 7.6 out of 10. It's a solid movie. Solid movie. They were blatant enough where they were going. It's just I almost like if I had my hands on the script and say, okay, we're gonna do this, I'm beating the fuck out of modern society with these things. Like they went too light on them, in my opinion, to be honest with you. With the idea of the modern times in regards like the homeless, to SWATs, to policing, to riots, to protests, to like all those little social phenomena that they showed in the movie. I'm fucking shitting on these fools, bro, with all of it. And he went like kind of light on them to make them. I don't know. It's probably a bad excuse to grade it lower. That's probably a bad reason to do that. But that's just my own personal take. I think I want these modern fools to realize that. Let's say, not even saying I don't know if the guy's a real person or not. I don't believe in the guy really. Like it is what it is, right? The Jesus character. But I want to show the world that, like, yo, if this guy lived today, you fools would kill him, bro. You would kill that dude, bro. The world we live in today would kill that person. Let's say he was sent
killed
by
him in the day. They killed him in the day he was in. What are you talking?
I'm saying, like, in modern society, where we're all highfalutin and have better morals and stuff like that, you fools would kill him. And I'm like, I want the world to know that shit.
Time he was in.
I would want to show them that shit, bro. That's just my own little maniacal,
I don't get your point. You killed him in the time he was in.
In modern times where people feel like they're better.
Not the past. We didn't move on. We're just like the same.
That's, yes.
Yeah.
And in fact, that point could have been, I mean, I think that was part of the point, I think. Right? They were showing like old biblical stories, but through modern lenses. And it's like, you guys would do the same fucking shit, wouldn't you? You little fuck faces. But that's just me being maniacal and an asshole. So, but it's still a good grade. 7.6 is a good grade. Anything else before I end this video? Anyone? Anime
waste
fans?
your fucking money and watch this.
You don't have to waste your money. It's not in theaters anymore. It's an old movie. Was it 2014 or something? It's an old movie.
Wait for it to come out on YouTube when it's free.
That won't happen because of modern algorithms.
I'm saying, don't bother watching this until 15 years has passed.
Especially if you're Christian, run away from this movie. You won't.
I think it was a good movie to watch. It was like
you just gave me two contradicting things, Prop. Just so you know.
No, I didn't. I just don't think that it's necessarily religious or whatever. But I liked how it ended with the crystal thing and shit. and the way he broke the crystal at the start, and then
We will argue after I'm done recording this, but for now,
I give it a 6.9 out of 10, and I think it's worth watching.
he went.
I think if
he
you're
went for
like into
69
trippy
folks.
movies, it's like one of the trippy movies you should watch. It's
Sticking
on the
with
careful,
lower,
prop.
it's on the lower tier list, but it's worth watching.
Be careful, prop. They boost up religion as much as they tear it down. So you know.
Is it a
Stick it-
goddamn metaphor for fascism?
They boost up religion and they tear it down at the same time. It's confused
How is it
the
a-
dum-dums.
How is it a boost up of what'd you say of fascism?
Oh my god.
No, he said religion. I said.
No,
L-
he's responding
anyways,
to you,
that's
bro.
No, what you just said.
a metaphor for fascism.
You said something about fascism.
Yeah, like the mother of the nation turning fascist.
I mean,
And
all
her
movies
heart-
are
her
up to your
heart
own
blackens,
interpretation.
and then the revolution happens, and then the stone of her heart gets reborn into another fucking nation.
Then they steal her
Another
baby
mother
and
nation.
eat it.
Talking
That
about.
happens.
They steal her baby,
So you
eat
think
it, and say,
you
"We're
think of
innocent,
this
though.
movie?
That's some Clinton
think of
Foundation.
We didn't do
stuff, I'm telling you.
anything."
Are you saying you think of this movie as the cycles of countries?
Yeah, or just cycles. Period. I kind of seen it as that, but I guess that you could see that as religious, as like you were talking about with Adam and Eve, and the start, and then it just keep going, or some
Well,
shit.
like Rome's a good example because they had two founders, Romulus and Remus.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna end
got
this video
together, they
right now.
worked together, then they fought each other.
We're gonna keep talking after this recording. There's a review for Mother by Aronofsky.
Join the Yellbro Live Discord.
What year is this
to-
fucking movie?
Sorry.
2017. Jesus Christ. Mother 2017. Check it out.